Candles are how pyros keep fire as pets. Hey kittens, it's time for another bullet journal setup, and I have been waiting for this one. Since starting my research for the year-long cryptid theme, I have read about a lot of interesting cryptids, but this one has stuck with me because I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Taking on the form of a large black dog, the black shuck has been seen around parts of the world throughout history. Stories say that its howl can make our blood run cold, and the very sight of this creature is an omen of death to come. The most famous sighting of the black shuck took place in England. Various accounts of the event give different details, but the heart of the story remains the same. On the morning of August 4th, 1577, members of the Holy Trinity Church in Blytheburgh, England, huddled together as a sudden storm brewed outside. The church was plunged into darkness, and the only illumination came from lightning slashing across the sky. On the echo of a violent crack of thunder, the doors of the church burst open to reveal a large, snarling black dog with red eyes and razor-sharp teeth. The churchgoers fell to their knees in fear as the creature surveyed them until its gaze settled on a terrified man near the pulpit. As another crash of thunder rattled the foundation, the creature lunged towards the man and sank his teeth into his back as he tried to flee. The effect was immediate, and the man began to shriek and howl as his skin shriveled and tightened over his bones. Lightning lit up the sky and struck the steeple repeatedly, sending the ceiling crashing down upon the congregation. Amid the pain and destruction, the creature finally released his trembling prey and ran outside as if the devil himself were on its heels. The only evidence that remains are the scorch marks the creature left behind on the door of the church, and those marks are still visible to this day. My story vastly differs from this one, but I feel like it's a continuation of the same theme. While some see the black shuck as a bad omen, there have been various accounts reported where this cryptid has been a protector of women. My experience with the black shuck took place near midnight when I was just 18 years old. I remember being exhausted. I had just finished a double shift at the dinner theater where I worked, and I was walking to my car with another waitress when I heard something snarling nearby. I looked up in time to see a man standing up from where he'd been crouching by our cars, and I watched him run across the parking lot with a black dog snapping at his heels. Suddenly wide awake, I jumped into my car and locked the door as quick as I could. I'd been jumped in that parking lot a few weeks before, and my assailant had run away when one of the guys in the kitchen came out to take out the trash. I sat there until I stopped trembling in fear and started my car to drive home. As I pulled out of the lot, I saw the dog run around a corner of a fence. We made eye contact, and I swear its eyes were glowing red. I quit the job not long after, and while I haven't seen the black shuck since then, I do believe it's out there, and it is defending us. For the artwork this month, I took inspiration from stained glass windows, which are prevalent in the church that I mentioned in this month's story. I diluted the black paint intentionally and made it streaky as if light were trying to shine through. All in all, I really like how the effect turned out, and I decided to continue to use the silver watercolor to write the text throughout this setup. When I was done writing the story, the silver title seemed to kind of fade into the background, so I decided to outline it in black to make it pop. The second page of my setup is my monthly calendar. Now, while I am a sucker for an elaborate setup, I decided to go simple and let the watercolor text do all of the talking. At the bottom of the page, I included a space for my YouTube growth tracker, and I added a space to the right of the calendar for my weekly production focus. Under the spot for weekly production, I included my little box telling me what the 4 main phases of the moon are going to be, and to the right is a spot for miscellaneous information that pops up during the month. The next page is where I'm going to track my habits, which are more like things that I want to do as part of my daily routine than anything. I also track my overall mood of the day as well as my sleep patterns. Last month, I tried tracking the actual times I was sleeping, but it got to be a hassle because I kept waking up in the middle of the night due to my insomnia. So this month, I'm going back to focusing on the total number of hours I sleep, which has given me the best data to talk to my doctor about in the past. For my habits, I'm tracking the same as last month, starting with making my bed first thing in the morning, flossing, doing my morning routine, skincare routine, taking my meds, reading, writing, meal prepping, tidying my house, scooping the cat litter, showering, my PM skincare routine, and meditating before bed. I know that this seems like a lot of things to track, but it's more of a to-do list for my mental and physical health than anything. By adding it to my habit tracker, I don't have to write this to-do list down every day. It's a great collection to include into your bullet journal, and I always feel so accomplished when I get to fill in the daily square for each task. Following the habit, mood, and sleep tracker, I decided to continue on with my monthly expense tracker that I started last month. I ended up having to use my brain dump page last month to supplement space for the tracker, so this month I decided to use 2 pages to keep track of where my money is going instead of 1. Overall, I think this is a great way to see where you're spending your money, and seeing the things that I spent my money on last month has given me a better idea of how to budget for this month, and so I feel better prepared to save money. This next page is a very useful one to me as a writer. This is where I plan out what I'm currently working on for Project Green, which is the novel I'm currently writing. This month, as part of my rewrite, I'm focusing on scene breakdowns as well as subplot mapping. If you're interested in some vlog-style videos about writing in the future, please let me know. And as you can see, I did mess up the numbers for the scenes, so I just went over them with my white gel pen, waited for the ink to dry, and then fixed the numbers. The last page of this setup is my reading tracker, which is still the same style as last month, and I seriously love it, so I don't think this is going to change for the rest of the year. It looks like an old style library card, and it makes me so happy when I see it. that's it for this video, and from the first touch of the brush to the last stroke of the pen, I spent a total of 3 hours and 25 minutes working on this setup. Please note that that did include drying time for the paint, so that's not the actual time it took me to do the setup itself. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and think about subscribing to my channel. I post bullet journal videos once a month, and I have a lot of fun content coming your way soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!